Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is having a great day. Outside, it is storming right now. And I did go out thrifting, so I got a couple things and, well, more than a couple, and I wanted to share those. Before you come in the chat, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and share this video. Hey, Shell Bell, welcome in. Man, when I came home, about exit 16, I could see it was really, really dark. The more I got to exit, hey, Ellie, welcome in. Everybody's stuff. Ginger, Bird on a Wire, Deborah Barnes, of course. Hey, Craig, welcome in. Of course, Ellie's went out. Welcome in, Rudy. Good to see you. And hello, Clint. So, man, I thought, man, I got to get this stuff in here before it starts raining, and I made it. But got a little rain going on out there. You know what they say? It rains on the just and the unjust alike, right? So, I did do a little thrifting while I was out. There wasn't as much, but I did find something. I found an antique, glass antique, and a few other things. And I just thought I'd come on and good, Craig. I know that the daggone postal people, I feel like strangling them. That is just crazy. Hey, Bruce. Hello. I know you're getting ready to go on really soon, right? My hair is destructed from all that wind. But anyway, this is not going to be a real long one, but I did find some things and I always come on. And if you can hear thunder in the background, that's because it's raining here. It's been like, yeah, soon. And I'll be joining you thereafter. So, hang on, guys. I know most of you know. Of course, I'm not going to be, he goes, I know how she is. She's going to be running her mouth. Honestly, no. Turn off flashlight. What I am going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pick up the thing from your live and drop it in the chat because they have wonderful things, and why not support other people, because that's what it's all about. So let me go in here and do this for Bruce because, okay, live. Let's see here. We're going to copy that link. And let me see if I can't get into this chat and drop that. Okay, Bruce, I understand. Dennis is he's probably ready to have you drawn and feathered. So we don't want that. So let's see here. Let's see if I can't do this, guys. Come on in. Do not forget that thumbs up, please, and thank you. Why am I not able to get to that? For Petey's sake. Here, let me do this. All right, let me see what I can do for Mr. Bruce. Thank you so much for being here. Boom. And there is the link to Bruce's live. They do have amazing stuff, how well I know. And there is the link to that live. Love you too, Bruce. You know, it never hurts to support one another. I mean, we're all in this together. And why not? You know, I think that's what we should do. So without further ado, oh my goodness, I found me a vintage purse. So let's see here. Clint knows how to drop that link. Good for you, Clint. That's what you're supposed to do. I found this vintage purse. Look at the beads on that. Of course, the handle, I think it's variegated like that, but there's your handle. And the best part about it, it was handmade and it was, this is the company of which it was made by. Let me get my camera to cooperate. It La Regal Ltd. Oh, I love vintage purses. I got a heck of a collection. Isn't that wonderful? I love me some vintage purses. But I thought it was beautiful, whenever you get hand beading like that. And it's not that it's dirty, it's the way it looks. It's not dirty, it's the way it is with the dark in it. Because if it was dirty, I'd have left it behind. But look at the little scallop on it's sticking to the magnet on my bracelet. The scallop, it reminds me of a shell. Isn't that beautiful? So there's that. So you guys know I have picked up many punch bowls, and I have not had a punch bowl yet that hasn't sold. Oh, Ellie. I've got a Whiting and Davis that I think the handle is probably celluloid, or what's that other one? Not Bakelite, but the other one. I'll think of it in a minute. So, you guys know that I have purchased many punch bowls and they've all left. So I had to get another one. This one's not as heavy, it's not as big, but it is amazing, just saying. And I believe this to be Indiana glass. Hey, Beth, welcome in. Let's see, the handle is not Bakelite, it's not celluloid, it's what's that other one? I'll think of it about 2 hours after the fact. But here we have a beautiful, and somebody, it's only got 11 to it, and it says, I guess, 12, including the bowl. But this is a beautiful vintage Indiana glass, smaller version punch bowl. It does have grapes on it. It is lighter than the one I had with the base. Lucite. Thank you, Ellie. Lucite. But look at that. Hey, nephew Troy, and hello, Amy. Welcome in. But this one is much lighter. I did the other one shipped out last Wednesday, and I used styrofoam. I had some pieces from a big screen TV, and I did put that on the bottom as well on top. I tell you, I think I'm the master, guys. No, you didn't miss. Ellie got a uranium glass piece. He goes, now she tells us. It's so good to see you guys. But look at this. This is Indiana glass. It is a grape motif. Almost knocked my glass above one. And look. But anyone that knows me, hey, Laura. This is a much lighter version if you're entertaining and you don't have a lot of people. And I was speaking with, there's the bowl, and it's about that. Let me give you a measurement. I was speaking with one of the ladies, thank you, Ellie, that works there. It's 9.5 inches across, and it is approximately 8 inches deep. And like I said, it's lighter because it's pressed glass. I can always tell by touch if it's pressed glass, but you know me, I'm not going to buy a punch bowl without the cups. That would be crazy. So here we go. Let me find it. There was only 11 cups, but I mean, for what it is, who really gives the horses patoot. Hey, Barbie, welcome in. Yes, Barbie, it sure is. Everything that I sell comes from the thrift store. I always pick up amazing glass items. And here's the cups, guys. You have the same motif. And I always, before I send things, I always one of two things. If it's real yucky, I'll wash it in some Dawn. If not, I'll wipe it down with alcohol. But yes, we have the matching little cup. And the lady was saying, she said the boss here, whenever we get a punch bowl set, she keeps it in the back. And then she goes, and when she goes home, we set it right out. And I said, yeah, and I come in and buy it, right? But look at the little around there. It's got a little beading on there. And this is lighter, so it's not. Man, if you'd have seen the one I shipped with the pedestal, whoops, I shipped the bowl itself by itself and the pedestal and the cups. Punch bowl set. But I think it's beautiful, and it is Indiana glass. I seem to find a lot of that. So naturally, I bought it. I mean, you can't go wrong. I mean, the cups are really delicate with the same motif on it. Oh, for Petey's sake. Hey, Francis, welcome in. I have a light on my camera and it's wanting to be oh, well, just stay on then. Then you have the grape motif right there that matches. And it's much lighter, so if you're not, it is still beautiful. And of course, it has the grapes. I think this is probably from the 60s. And there's Tea at Nana's. Welcome in. Isn't it beautiful? I couldn't help it. Man, you ought to have seen me getting in this house before it started raining. I was flying low. Couldn't fly too low because I got too many steps to come up. But good to see you, Nana, and welcome in. And for those who missed out on the vintage purse, I got a vintage purse. How beautiful is that? And it is branded. It is La Regale Ltd. So it's made by a company. I thought it was fabulous. And like I said, that's not dirt on there. That's how this purse is made. But I thought it was beautiful, and I collect them, so why not? Yeah, isn't it neat? It's like a shell almost, and I thought it was just beautiful. One of those little finds that I couldn't resist. Okay. So I normally they pre-wrap everything. So in the event it's sold, all I have to thank you. All I have to do is do my regular pink. I get it from Amazon. You pull it, and these little humps come up, and that's what I use when I, always they. Isn't that nice when it's already wrapped? Love it. So let's put this beauty back over here. I tell you guys, I have done four boxes, and they all went out today through every one of them went out UPS. So Ellie, I know that hers went through regular mail, and I got hers out, and the others have been gone through UPS. And I will pull those numbers and update that shipping for you guys. We all like to know when our stuff's coming. So now we have, this is an antique because I Googled it several times. For those of you that like antique oil lamps, Good Lord. I have a beauty. Now, I don't know if it's the original lampshade, but I do know this is an antique. So, man, and I saw one of these sold for like $125. I don't know if this is the original. I don't know if this is the original lampshade. It could be, I don't know, but I know the metal part looks pretty gross, but when I seen antique, I couldn't help it. So there's your, let me tip that, there's your bottom right there. And then you have your little stippling, and this is an antique. Like I said, I can't verify that this is the original chimney because there's no way. Nobody showed up last time. No, we didn't know you was decorating live. And this I got from Turtle Shell Beth. So since this was in the same frame, they're both the oh, what do they call those, native pearls or whatever. And so I just put them together and rocked that. Like I said, this may not be the original chimney, but I guarantee you that's an antique. Judging from the gross looking, I mean, that could be cleaned up. But it is an antique. There's along the top there. But yeah, I picked that, I snapped that right up. And I'll tell you how big it is. The chimney, I can't verify, but I know the base is an antique. Hey, Brian, welcome in. But man, I've been burning them packages up. And see, no one, Shannon goes, well, I'm not going to help you and have you yell at me. I said, well, if I'd show you how to do it. Oh, because I'm really picky. Let's see here. But this is an antique. The chimney, I don't know. I'm not going to swear to it because you never, ever say something unless you know it. Brian, do not pay your invoice yet because I forgot to put your lizard in there. Don't oh, you can if you want to. I don't think this will make a difference, but I forgot your lizard, so I'm going to have to slit that open and put that in there. My fault. She said, here, I won this lizard, and she forgets to put it. I'll put it in there for you. It shouldn't affect your shipping at all. It doesn't weigh that much. He goes, make your mind up, woman. Oh, that's all right, Brian, because this little guy should fit in there with no, I don't think it'll be any more. That's okay, Brian. I got you covered, but there's your lizard. I kind of nicknamed him. Yeah, sometimes it does happen. I call him kind of, he's got emerald little stones, and Brian won that. So he said, don't even, he said, I'm good with the utility knife. Why? I've had lots of practice. But I can guarantee you that that is an antique. I saw one selling for $125. And I always make that second trip into the past the older stuff because I might miss something. And like I said, if someone had a chimney or whatever that was possibly older, they could switch it out, but I can't testify or verify that that is the original chimney. Hey, Deborah, welcome in, because I just can't. It kind of looks like maybe a more modern chimney, but that's an antique, guys. It's not. You know, back in the day, they were used basically for light. I'm sure a few was used in this house since it was built in 1926. Oh, yeah, Beth, I looked at that price and I said, I just kind of reached over and grabbed it because I knew that it was worth something. Wait just a minute here. I thought I paid. Yeah, Brian, I see salting. But yes, I got Beth's package today, and as you can see, that's why I wanted it, Beth, because I thought I would wear it with the other, the little bow. So, and would you drop? I know a lot of people. Would you drop Beth Turtle Shell Beth's thing in the chat, please, and thank you. And that, what do they call these, Navajo pearls? But isn't that beautiful? And look how that lays like a dream. I know, isn't it nice? There's always a method to the madness. Yeah, she sure does. That and one of those bar fight rings, Navajo pearls, aren't they? I got this one from Kirsten, and I loved it because of that. That right there, that is a Kirsten ring as well. That sterling. That's another big one, of course. Where would I be without my Laura sterling silver bracelet and the ring? I wear every time I go out. I wear it all the time. Thank you, Laura. That's sterling silver, and I believe that pattern is rose point. Very beautiful. I don't leave. If I'm going somewhere, I never leave the house without it on. I know. Isn't it though? Because the prices of sterling keeps escalating. Another thing that people may not realize, rhodium as well is a precious metal. And sometimes they do rhodium plate sterling. I mean, it's not, I mean, it's common, every now and then they will use rhodium, but it is a precious metal as well. So let's see, what else did I have? I found this necklace and I could not. I seen the tag and I could not figure out what it was. So now I got the big eye now. I'll be able to pick that out. Yeah, because everybody was buying it up, they're realizing the value in sterling, especially this, guys. This Navajo stuff is no joke, and it goes for a pretty penny. One brown bag. And it's getting harder because people do realize that what sterling is worth and is going for nowadays. Right, where's my earrings? I know I had two bags in here. Where's the other bag? Maybe it's over here. Well, surely it didn't get up and walk off. Well, for Petey's sake. Oh, here's the other one. Duh. Yes, Deborah. She deals in a lot of sterling and a lot of Sagen. She gets some really neat stuff, guys. My hair is a hot mess. Thank you so much, Nana, for coming in. I appreciate it. And what's for dinner? What did I have for dinner? I had Salisbury. It was like my daughter fixed. It was like Salisbury steak, mashed potatoes, green beans, and macaroni and cheese. So I found this necklace and I thought, well, it's knotted in between, and we know anytime a necklace is knotted that now it's time for me to figure out what this tag says. I don't feel so bad when a lady with glasses looked at it and couldn't tell. Let's see what this is. It's one of them little tiny ones. It might be Natasha. I don't know. Let me grab this. Good Lord. Can they put it any closer together? Oh, for Pete's sake. Oh. Come on now. Man, it must be good. It's ANNE something. For Pete's sake. So, it must be good, guys, because man, they crammed it in there. We're not talking about Lisner or Coro, but for Pete's sake, I can't even tell what it is. It's a mystery necklace. I'll have to blow it up 1,000 times. But I thought it was amazing. It is a shorty, but it is knotted in between, and I believe it's an older piece. Those are not pearls. I think they're glass. But I do think it's a vintage necklace, and I was drawn to it. Maybe, maybe not. So I thought it was really pretty, so I picked it up. So I got that. This one, how I was hoping that it was something like Park Lane, but it wasn't. Want. Not marked, but I just thought it was really pretty. Really, what I had in mind, guys, was that to wear those together. And I was thinking Park Lane, but it does have a toggle on it, a relatively nice one. I was in there looking to see if it was maybe something, but I was hoping Park Lane, but I thought it was pretty. Let's see if those are glass. Nope. But I thought it was really pretty. It's gold tone. It's in really good condition. So I picked that up. So every now and then I'll look in the jewelry to see if they missed that Lisner like they did the last time. Yes, they do. I'm one of these matchy girls, you know. Gotta have it going on, y'all. I'm guilty. But I thought those would be beautiful together. So there's that. I like to match. I'm guilty. So I got a couple pairs of earrings. One's costume. And I was looking at, these are really fabulous, even though they're costume. And they are very colorful, might I add. Thank you, Francis. I appreciate that. Look at these babies. I think these kind of scream 80s, but I thought they were pretty. Aren't they pretty? Let me look. I know they're costume, but I thought they were pretty. You know how we like to make a statement. Hey, Deborah, sweetie, your box went out today. My husband took it. Everything I had but one went through a UPS. Yeah, Disco Inferno, that's for sure. So your package is on its way. My husband dropped it out at about 3 something. I will give you the tracking on it, but phew, man, I was rapping like you wouldn't believe. I said, okay. Oh, I'm when I make my mind up, you can't. Is there anything on the post? I thought these were pretty amazing because they were open in the back and they were really sparkly. And their post. Oh yeah, man, I was working it like crazy. You guys, do you want another sale for next Thursday? Raise your hand if you want another sale next Thursday. I know, Laura, it was pitiful here. Look at that. Let me see. Get it to be still. Come on now. Look at those stones. It's hotter than and they do have an open back on them in the back. Okay. Okay, 710, since your hand went up first, would you like to join me during my sale? You is the first hand that went up. So, would you like to join me next Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? He said, me and my big hand, right? But I thought these were really amazing. The stones were kind of neat, I thought. Isn't that pretty? Open back. That's what you get for putting your hand up. I had a sale with him one time. Oh, you're going to be out of town. Okay, maybe next time. Next time. But I thought those were beautiful. Look at the way those stones are cut. And like I said, they do have an open back. I thought they were pretty. Yeah, I'll be rocking those. I liked them because the way they hung down like that. I'll be tearing it up with those. Hey, Mia, honey, welcome in. Mia, your package is in the hands of the ever faithful UPS, and I will send you your tracking information. But I love this 80s look, guys. They remind me of Madonna. Hey, Nana, welcome in. Isn't that beautiful? Speaking of Nana Tink, Nana, did I pay that invoice? I'm getting paranoid here. I thought I had. If I didn't, I apologize. And you know that is not like me. I thought I paid it. Invoice. Let me look through here. I seen it somewhere and I know what it was, and I thought I had paid that. How embarrassing. Here, let me go into Nana Tink. If someone would drop Nana Tink's channel, and Mia drop hers as well. I'd appreciate it. Let me see if I've been naughty or nice here. We know we don't want any unpaid. Nana will send the henchman. No, I'm kidding. She knows I'm fine. We do have some wonderful people in the chat that are very deserving. Drop their links for me if you don't mind. I appreciate it. Well, cuss. Hang on just a second. Hey, Lenora, welcome in, sweetie. Let me go back that way. For Petey's sake. Let me see here. Come on, PayPal. I have to. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Oh my goodness, I am pending. Hang on, Nana. I thought I paid that. Maybe I was. It is really very important, guys. You'll never know how important. Sorry, Nana, I got you. I thought I paid that. Boom. You know, when you become a reseller, you really realize how important it is to get. Well, maybe you should have one. Maybe that was a hint, maybe, but you know, when you're a reseller and you're waiting on payment, because you guys, there's a lot that goes into it. See, Beth subbed anyway. You might want to start one because we pack those packages up, and look at me, you know, I do all glass. And a lot goes into that, and you send that invoice and you're like, okay, what happened? Thank you, Lenore. And it does. There's a lot of preparations. And when you're a reseller, you know that very well that it is so disappointing. Mia, maybe we should help you create a channel. What can we help Mia? So, you know, it's really important that we pay those bills because you know what? You know, we never want to lose our credibility, you know, ever. Hey, Maritza, welcome in, sweetheart. So I get and see, I've got some thumbnails already made up. So since we had so many hands waving, then I guess we're gonna have to. And Mia got this wonderful. It's a sewing box from Romania, about yay big. And you know, sometimes, and it was dovetailed. I didn't realize that, guys. It was dovetailed. And I'm like, and I went ahead and kind of had some Murphy's oil soap, and then I had some Old English. Where, you know, sometimes wood gets dry, and when you condition it, it brings out the beauty. And oh man, it was really beautiful. Yeah, Nana knows me. We know each other. So looks like, oh my goodness, there's lightning over to the, looks like to the west over there. And so we're, you know, like I said, we're all in this together. It never hurts to help one another out. And Nana is a big supporter as well. She really is. She means, I mean, she means a lot to me. She really does. And she's a big supporter, you know, she really does. She's like a cheerleader, and she will do that. She will say, go over there and sub, you know. But, you know, we're all working toward a goal, and, you know, it doesn't hurt. Sometimes it takes us a while to get to where we want to go, but hey, no trip was ever successful unless you got in the car, right? You got to get in there, and there'll be good days and bad days, and days that, oh, absolutely, that you're like, what am I doing? Why am, you know, but you know, we have to surpass. Sometimes we get discouraged. You can't get discouraged. Like I said, you know, Where's that picture at? You only fail if you quit. If you keep going, and I tell you, sometimes people say, well, why am I not at this amount of subs? Because I find that things happen when you're ready. And people, when they see the, yeah, Nana, that's a Navajo pearls. And this came from Turtle Shell Beth. And this is a Kirsten resale piece. And as you can see, me and my matchy self here. But yeah, sterling, if you can get your hands on some sterling, do it, because see how that is almost directly across from each other. Oh, I know, Mia. I thought, well, I'm like that, guys. I had bought a big thing of Cape Cod Avon stuff, and one of them was like a candle holder thing, and it was plastic, and whoever had that stuff must have smoked like a freight train. So my husband said, look, let's use this on that, and they were spotless, and there is many. Thank you, Minnie. I was like, phew. I'm like, oh dear Lord, let that punch bowl. She got the punch bowl with the base. Minnie, I was in it to win it, because I said, okay, you've shipped the stuff before, use your noggin. And guys, we're talking about a punch bowl about like that and yay big around. One for me. Hey, Angie, good to see you, sweetie. But yeah, you do learn as you progress. I know, I probably got more than that. But as we progress along in our. But one good thing about YouTube, you have all these friends that you have never met before. And it's just wonderful. And we feel like we personally know one another because of our connection in the chat. And that's what makes it all worthwhile, because you're welcome, Lenore, because that's what it's all about. We support one another, and sometimes we feel really like we are being tossed against the wall, and we go splat and we run down it. But you know what? Never give up. If you hit the wall, get back up, because it's all worth it. Find your niche and go with it. If someone would have told me over 2 years ago, you're going to be selling glass and a lot of it, I'd say, I don't think so. But here I am today, and I really enjoy it. But the thing that I enjoy the most is you guys. I really do. Um, we're all people, and we just help each other. We grow. Sometimes we grow. We take little baby steps. We crawl before we can walk, and then some of them walk and take off running. But it's about that. It's about. I don't know if you guys know this or not. Yeah, that's true. It can be also. It can also be very hard if you get hurt, but we pick ourselves up and move on. Yes, we have to decide whether uh, that are we going to let that person's negative comment, and 9 times out of 10 they're lying. Are we going to let them control our destiny? Or are we going to say, talk to the hand, because I'm coming, and I'm coming out with both feet? Because there's always going to be people, guys, that are going to try to bring us down. So true. Being my dementia husband's caretaker full time made me realize how to be nimble with my live cells. This community helps my sanity. Yes, Deborah, it's like therapy. And, anybody that has a spouse that has dementia, it is very hard. I think the hardest part, it's not the work, it's seeing that person that you once knew become someone that you don't recognize. And I heard that dementia is the further facet of Alzheimer's. And Amy says, and usually the negative comments is more a reflection of that person than us. That's true, Amy. That is so true. You know, you know what I say? Don't bring your harp to the party. Hey, Papa Jim's, because life is like this, and there's Face the Ace. Life is like this. It's one mistake right after the other till we get it right. Are we perfect? No. We're not perfect in any means. And where is that picture? We fail because we're human. But you know what? No horse ever won a race standing at the gate. When opportunity knocks and that gate comes up, just ask Face the Ace. I think he's at no telling what. But you just keep going. 36 years married is my honor to be here for him till the end. His personality's gone, but it's hard. Yes, Deborah, it really is. I've worked with, my mother-in-law had dementia. Yes, we learn something every day, and we're doing pretty good, Papa. I hope you're okay. And yes, it does. And it's, you just can't, you know, and I always say, be your best original self. You know what I say? If someone don't like me, their head turns this way or that way, or they can change the channel because I know who I am. I'm a good person. Am I blunt? You bet I am. But hey, I try to do it with class, but you cannot please everyone. And when someone is constantly wanting you to suck up to him, it's not attention, it's control. So sometimes, guys, when we're around negative people, it's a bad thing, because sometimes when we hang around the wrong people, we act just like they do, because that's what we and Angie says, my dad is suffering from that sad disease right now. So sorry, Angie. And I'll be praying for both you and Deborah both. And it's really, it's so hard. And our prayers definitely go out to you. And prayers do not hurt anything. You're welcome, Angie, because you only get one set of parents. That's and your husband, and it's really hard. But guys, I was thinking about this. I used to work in the home health care industry. Thank you, Nana. And I was thinking last night, oh my God, look what you went through. Look at the trials and tribulations that you went through, and you hung right in there. You didn't give up. You didn't run when the going got tough. And it's like, oh my God, when I thought about some of the things I went through, guys, no one ever talked down to me or mistreated me, because I'd have told them, you can get somebody else. Because you know what? When you're acting like that, there's 10 to 20 people right behind you that needs somebody. I said, don't disrespect me because you see that door. I said, I'll be out of it. And I never had to say that to anybody. But, I always took care of people. And, I was really, and Beth said it's such a hard thing to watch. My mom had dementia before she passed 9 years ago. Was so hard. She was my hero. And we need prayers for Beth because, even though the years have passed, there was no one like your mother, your dad, your spouse. They're just not. And that's why, I for this, of course, I do have another channel that I want people to know that whatever, if they come in and something's on their mind, that they can put it, I mean, if they don't mind sharing, not because I'm wanting to know your business or whatever. When we share things, it opens up our hearts to other people. And some people suffer in silence, guys, and we don't have to do that. Oh, yes, Francis. There's so many memories associated with the ones we love, and it's hard, guys. But, I don't think, our God knows when everyone's last day is. And it is hard. It really is. And, guys, you do not know the tears that I cried for my clients when they passed away. It was terrible. And I was so close to him, guys, that I would have to take a couple days off because, and these were people that I got so, thank you, Laura, that I got so connected with, and it just about killed me. I'll never forget my first one I had passed away. And of course, she was cremated, and somebody said, her neighbor said, "Go up there and talk." And I said, "Okay, but if I cry, it's your fault." And I really got through it, and you just realize how much people mean to you. I was a very loving caregiver because it's in my nature. But man, if anybody ever tried to take advantage, I tell you, I was not beyond backing someone into a corner. And a lot of them were afraid of me because they knew I didn't take nothing. Here is some good news. My channel raised $417.75 for the Ronald McDonald House in honor of my sweet Sydney. Every year we honor her by giving back, and that's wonderful. That's what it's all about. And of course, the Ronald McDonald House is a place where parents that their children are going through catastrophic illnesses can go, and everything's taken care of. They're fed, they're housed. Say, like their child may need treatment in another state, and that's such a wonderful thing. And yes, Deborah did lose a grandchild as well. Yeah, people say, well, how do you work with people like that? Or people that are sick or whatever. I said, just like any other job, but I always gave them more than just, I wasn't watching my watch. Well, it's whatever time before I leave. I didn't do that. And Angie said we stayed at the Ronald McDonald House when my daughter was born. Everyone has their own unique story of survival and getting through things. Hey, T, welcome in, sweetheart. Welcome in. But yes, I did my job. It was, to me, it was a job, but to me, it was an outreach because, the home health care agency and caregivers, they're really low on them, guys, because not everybody is cut out to be a caregiver. Let's face it. There are other people that have other talents, but I just smelted right into it. It was like, I think that I don't believe in coincidence. I believe that people are sent in situations by God. I really believe that, guys. Nothing is a coincidence, and God takes your best quality and uses it for the good of other people. They really do. And thank you for dropping those links. It really does use, and a lot of times, I was always there, and of course, when I would lose one, I'm telling you, it was like it would take the breath right out of me, and I would have to, like I said, I'd have to be out for a couple days because it just, I can't describe it. It was like someone related to me passed away, and I tell you, it has its own rewards, and like I said, that when you go in to, most of the people were older and elderly, and that when you go in, there's a chance that these people could pass away, but that you don't think about it. You just help to improve their quality of life. I'm 100% Gina. I work with dementia patients, so I feel like I was being prepared for my life as a caregiver. Yeah, it seems like the walks that we take in life, however bumpy the ride or the path may be, it's preparing us for something. I always find that. And, I was known as one of the best in the company because of my degree of caring. I don't know. I went above and beyond, not because I had the capability to do it and I knew it helped someone else. I wasn't vowing for employee of the month. That was insignificant to me. What I was doing was enriching the lives of someone else. Oh, absolutely, T. They say experience is a great thing. It keeps you from making the same mistake twice, right? But yeah, it's just a great thing. And I was thinking about all these things I went through, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I lived to tell it. And I guess it kind of built my exterior and the interior as well. Thank you, T. Because we never know when someone that we love, our parents, are going to be gone, and we should really kind of treasure those moments and those memories because when they're gone, that's all we have. We will be that person one day. Absolutely, we don't think it can happen, but it does. You can be good and spry one day, and we never know. And I feel like we all have a mission in life, and sometimes God kind of says, knock, knock, knock. He puts you in a situation to see how you're going to deal with it. And he is building your institution for what you're going to go through later. I was thinking today about all you are talking. We all need this, and to be here is a reason. You're welcome, Lenore. I don't know, Lenore. I just felt like, we all have something to give, and be that positive light for people that need it. And guys, there's people that's going through things we can't imagine and have been through things we can't imagine. Yeah, it's the natural part of aging. We're all going to get those wrinkles and those gray hairs and those little pesky little spots. But you know what? This will change. What's in here normally doesn't. So we have to make those every moment count because really, if you think about it, we're only here for a very short while. And we really are, and we should. But I know it would tear. My husband was diagnosed at 56, very young. He is now 60. Yes, they have medication to slow it down, but they can't stop it. I don't know. It's so strange that dementia is coming very prevalent today in this day and time that it just It really does. And you see people that are 100 years old that's just as sharp as they can be, and but yeah, I said, man, I said, look at what you went through, but I'm still here. But I wouldn't, unless the person became so. I had one lady that, and I'm not making light of bipolar disorder, but she had it and she wouldn't take her medicine. And she was about 6'1", and she wouldn't take her medicine. And I had to get out of there, guys. And it was real. My last experience with her was she sent things into Kentucky for, there are some places in Kentucky that they're poor, let's face it. And I went and picked something up for her, and I give her the receipt as I normally did. And she goes, well, these was 50 cents the other day. And I said, no. And I said, I'll call the store. I knew I could see what was going on. And wouldn't, I wouldn't go back. And see, she had a sister that was like in her 50s that had dementia. So I would take her over there to the facility to see her. And I made a picture. It was during a birthday party or something. And I had it blew up for Christmas for her of the two of them. Well, I think she took it the wrong way. She goes, well, it kind of reminds me of how she's deteriorating. Well, I didn't do it for that reason. Come on. And she just had too many problems for me to address. And I just said, forget it. Okay, T, I was a caregiver for 20 years old, and I took care of a sweet lady that was riveter during World War II. She was a right. Yeah, think about. I always enjoyed the stories that they can tell you some amazing stories of yesteryear. I know I had to get away from that because I just couldn't. If you're like my sister had bipolar disorder, and you have to take your medicine. I was afraid she would attack me. And I said, oh no. I said, if you want to, you're going to go in there. You're not putting me. And then I always had other companies. I had another company wanting me to come in and join because I was good. They knew me. They knew that I was good at what I did. Guys, I had this one lady, her son he had Williams syndrome, and I had him for 4 years. And the company I was working for decided that they were not going to provide services for that particular title because people were goofing off. They wasn't taking care of them. Well, I had already established myself with that company and was making pretty good money. And I thought, I said, well, I'm not leaving that company. So therefore, you won't believe what this lady done. The very next day, I was to go over to, they wanted me to go with that other company. I said, well, I've been with this one too long. I know everybody. And I'll have you know, his mother, she had a dubbing system in her home, a recording system, because she called my cell phone sicko, and it was my voice, y'all, saying she was so intimidated because her son thought so much of me and dubbed my voice and said, hello, this is Gina, Jonathan's mother, and it was in my voice. Can you believe how sick that was? So I went right down there to the company and I said, she's got a problem. And I said, one of them, she had some kind of a recording thing and it was my voice. And I said, well, she's nuts. And I said, she was always so worried about this, that, and the other. And she goes, they said, oh my God, Gina, she sounds like she's obsessed with you. I said, well, she can obsess by herself. Then the dentist that I had, she worked for his office and she was always putting the bad mouth on him. And I'm like, and then after I got away from her, I told him what she said about him. And he said, yeah, he said, her and her friend worked for us and they was always causing trouble in the office. And he said, so I called them both in my office and said, you're fired. You know what their first word was? The F word. You. Now, how tacky. They got fired because they was always causing problems in the office. Okay, let me catch up. Yeah, we are all grateful that the grandbabies will be here for a week stationed in Japan. That's wonderful. Before my husband forgets them. Hey, Brian, Lenore, Nana, Francis, gosh, so happy to so many in the chat. But yeah, that's what she did. And see what she thought that I was going to call her back and just really give it, just slam her good, but I didn't. But I did go to the office, the main, where the office was, and told them, I said, she is beyond above reproach. And she kept calling while we were talking, she was burning their phone up, and they wouldn't answer her because we was in the middle of, talking. So, and I really thought a lot of this young man. He was the same age as my daughter. And he called me. I seen it. And I said to myself, Gina, you're just going to have to tell him why. So I answered the phone and I said, Jonathan, I said, I care a lot about you and I always will, but I will not take your mother's mouth. I said, I've already got another client. I said, you don't, I didn't tell him about the recording. I said, I will not take her mouth because I don't have to. So I had to tell him, guys, and it was really hard, but I had to tell him the truth. And I said, I'll always think a lot of you. I always will, but I will not take your mother's mouth, not 1 minute. She thought that after she pulled her little stunt, that I was going to dip down to her level and call her and tear her up so she would have a weapon, but she had none. And guys, I tell you, she made a mistake, but it was unfortunate, guys, because, they always he had to go with another company. I'm sure they had someone else. But I refused to leave a company that I had worked in and earned the money that I earned. Well, call it good or bad. And guys, if I'd have switched over, she'd have treated me like garbage and we would have went around and around then. Yes, I took the high road, and I know, and of course they went with another company. Now, whether, there's always people out there to take care of people, and of course, his parents were divorced, and she just could not get over that. And she was always so negative about that. And I'm like, I remember that this little guy was talking to his dad on the phone, and his mother was making catty remarks, and he looked at her and yelled at her. And she said, did you see that? I just kind of went like that. That whether she liked it or not, that was his dad. And she needs to grow up. You know, she could not push me to the point where I would get really upset, and she couldn't understand it. I was way ahead of her is what she couldn't understand. I wasn't going to let her push my buttons. Just because someone might have been a bad husband doesn't mean they're a bad dad. Right. That was his dad. And see, she couldn't get out of the past, see. She couldn't get out of the past. And all what it doesn't matter. And Amy, you said it all right there. You said it all. And he was a good dad. One certain amount of days I would be at his dad's house and then at the mother's house. And she had no right. She was a very bitter person. If you can't let go of something and stoop to to that level where you do it in front of the person's son, you got hatred problems. And life is too short to be a hater, guys. It really is. But she just underestimated me. She thought I was going to snap her off, but I didn't. She probably still scratching her head, but it was ridiculous. But I tell you, the paths that I have traveled, and Nana said, sadly, some people can't move forward. That's true. Like the old song by Vince Gill, there ain't no future in the past, and no one ever got anywhere looking in the rearview mirror, right? I know, Brian, we really do. We live in a world where people just, they don't care. It's about me, 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 when it should be about, you know, I guess we were all drawn together for a reason, guys. They do, and it's just so uplifting, guys, to be, and I'm not that I to be in the presence of people that truly care about you. And Brian took very good care of his mom. Usually that falls on the female, but Brian did lose a sister, uh, and his mom, and I think a brother. I think so. Me and Brian and Laura, we all adopted each other. So, see, you don't have, guys. The best relative you'll ever have is the one you choose yourself, right? Not to say that we shouldn't strive to get along with our families, but you know where I'm coming from. And yeah, it can be stressful when you're, taking care of people. Yeah, it found, yeah. And the worst part about it, a lot of times when that person that's in home health care, they get sent someone that is exactly who they were looking for. Yeah, Brian, we hung in there like a hair in a biscuit, didn't we? You can tell I'm from Kentucky. That you just never know when I think people are, and they get that one person that they can count on. And it's so weird, guys, the jealousy, them thinking that their mother or aunt or whatever is going to care more about you than they do them, and that's insecurity. And it's crazy, and I experienced that a couple times, and after that last time I said, I said, I ain't going that route. If they're that insecure and jealous, it just, I don't know. But yet they want you to take good care of them, but they can't get past their little thing. It's just crazy. But, I do know that in my tenure, I did make a difference and that it really helped a lot of people. And, we all have an expiration. Yeah, there are some amazing people. There really are. And a lot of good people and just people that are willing to be there. And I think sometimes the amazing ones make up for the ones that are not so amazing. But, every boat floats on its own bottom and every tub stands on its own feet. I know, Brian, I remember something specifically that you got from me. It was that cross it just was, I think it was, oh, what was that? It's about Yaton. It was a cross, and when the sun would hit that, and I know she liked that. She liked it because when the sun hit it, all these colors would come through. I tell you, I had my hair looking good. You go out in the wind and poof. So, well, guys, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. Never have I come on my channel without an in depth conversation. Bruce said, yeah, she's over. She probably still talking. But I think it's good for people. Sometimes, we need to hear things and be comforted and assured that, hey, things will get better. So good thing I'm not Pinocchio right now because I swore I wasn't going to. All right, nephew Troy, that's my nephew right there. 710 is my nephew. So I just have a whole slew of adopted people. So I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to go over and check Bruce and Dennis out. Bruce is probably saying, oh, she's just like this. He probably didn't. But anyway, I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Each and every one of you are very special to me. Thank you for being in my life. I love you guys. See you next Thursday. There will be an auction next Thursday. I'm still working on two people's orders, but I'll make it, I promise. Thank you guys for being here. You're wonderful and have a great rest of your day. Mwah! See ya. No, I'll see you tomorrow on Genuinely Gina at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.